This is the plaintiff, Charles McCartney. He says he's known the defendant for 40 years, and he can't believe it's come down to this, a lawsuit, because she refuses to pay him the balance of what she owes on a job he did for her. He did an excellent job renovating her apartment. He did all the extra things she asked him to do. Now she's trying to stiff him on the last $805 she still owes him? Well, we'll see about that because he's suing. This is the defendant, Despy Sutherland. She says the plaintiff got in way over his head, and it became quite obvious he didn't know what he was doing. For instance, the doors he put up were 3 inches too short. He used her paint on the other jobs for other people, and he was taking advantage of her because she's a woman. Oh, him? No way. She's accused of letting a longtime friend down.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. These litigants have known each other for 40 years, but it's all over now because the plaintiff says the defendant stiffed over renovation work. But the defendant says the work was awful. It's the case of the renovation situation.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Sutherland, you've known Mr. McCartney for how long?
More than 20 years, Your Honor.
Okay, according to you, it's how long?
40, might be less though.
Okay. And at one point in time, his trailer, where he lived, was parked on your yard for 10 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you charging rent, or that
No,
was
not a penny, Your Honor.
that was just a favor?
Yes, my
So
husband.
you guys didn't just know each other; you knew each other pretty well.
My husband told him he could park the trailer there.
All right. So you hired him to do some work in an apartment that had been trashed by the prior tenants, right? And why did you hire him to do the work? Is that what he does for a living?
He used to work for my husband, and he worked for us occasionally. We pay him. He worked for us. We pay him. He go away. He come back. Sometimes I gone to work. I come home. He's sitting there talking with my husband. I make dinner. I feed my husband. I feed him.
Okay.
He's not a stranger.
Okay, he's not a stranger. All right. Now, your husband passed away, correct?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry about that. So you hired him to do the renovation or repairs of the place.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have some complaints about things. What are your
Yes, ma'am.
complaints?
Well, for one thing, he wasn't doing the work. I pay him the money to do the work. 2 weeks pass, he don't do nothing. I go down there and get my hammer and my chisel and start taking the door off for myself. I put them there. I think he would put them outside for me. I put them out myself. Then I start arguing, when are you going to start this work? When are you going to start this work? So we start buying things. We start buying things. We start buying paint. They're just sitting there. In the meantime, Your Honor, he moved into the apartment. He have 2 suitcases, boxes, shoes, clothes hanging in the closet. He get up in the morning, he take a shower, he leave. He come in the evening, he come upstairs with his TV dinner, he warm it up, sit at my table and eat.
Okay. And did you tell him don't do that?
You know, I'm waiting for him to finish the work.
So you tell him, be my guest?
No, I am arguing with him every day. When are you going to finish the work? He start doing some painting, Your Honor. I need to show you the painting. He's supposed to paint the wall white, the door and the door frame half white.
And according to you also, the doors he bought were too short.
Yes, ma'am.
Did he correct that?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
See the door
Is
there,
someone
all
living there or
yellow.
no?
Not yet, ma'am, but I'm planning to rent it. Someone can
Okay, you gonna
live
give
there
the man the
because-
pictures, or you gonna? That's not off-white. Yeah. How would you give him money? You would just give him cash and not get a receipt?
The first time I gave him $1,000.
And then did you get a receipt for that?
I have a bank check from the bank, Your Honor.
Okay, so do you have canceled checks for all the money you paid him?
No, ma'am, I gave him most of them in cash.
Well, did you get a receipt when you would pay
He
him
didn't
cash?
give me any, Your
No,
Honor.
no, then the cash doesn't leave your hand. You see, if the person who's standing in front of me wants the money in my hand, they have to write a receipt that says, I hereby acknowledge that I just accepted $20 from you for whatever.
He didn't give
then
me any,
No,
Your
no.
Honor.
Then don't give him the cash. How many times, according to you, did you pay him cash and not get a receipt?
4 or 5 times, Your Honor.
Why would you do that? So now he's suing you for 2 things. He says you owe him $305 for what?
The balance of the material that I bought.
What material in particular?
Remote control, light in the ceiling. It works by remote control. Some locks. It's a whole lot of them.
Okay, but if she's supposed to pay for materials, you would buy them and then bill her?
No, we go to the store together.
Okay, and then
Mo-
who would
most
pay
of-
at the register?
She'll pay.
If she pays, why do you say she owes you for money?
Because when I'm doing work in an apartment, there's other things that need to be bought.
Okay,
instead of
so then
bothering her-
those times you went to the store without her.
Right. Sometimes I go to the store without her.
Okay, how are you going to prove today that you spent money and she didn't reimburse you if you don't give receipts?
Here's the way it went. When she gave $1,000 the first time, that was when the job was started. After that point,
By the way, what was the job?
the job was major overhaul of
No, be specific. What was the job?
holes being punched in the wall by the existing attendant. All the doors had to been changed.
So replacing the doors,
Locks on the doors.
locks on the doors,
Paint
damage to the walls.
Paint the whole place and
Okay.
put in a whole new kitchen.
Okay. Did she tell you she wanted the doors to be off-white?
No, the doors were white.
Well, the doors are yellow here. Why are the doors yellow?
After a certain period of time, after all the doors got painted, she said she changed her mind.
No, did she pick this yellow for the door?
That's not the color. The color was white.
Do you have pictures of the work you did? So
No,
that I can see what
I
the
had
color
pictures
is.
before I did the work.
No, that doesn't help. I'd like to see pictures of the
No.
work you did because she says that is the work you did. So she's showing a picture of work you did and you're saying that's not it. Show me something. Do you have something to show me?
I never expected her not to pay me at the end.
So the answer is no. All right. Aside from the complaints about the workmanship, there's also this other thing you're suing for, which is $500 for a stove. Tell me
Yes.
about that.
It's a stove that she needed in the place because everything was ruined in that place. So
Did she go with you to buy and pick out the stove?
Yes.
Why wouldn't she just have paid for the stove then?
She doesn't have a charge card. She might have cash, but she didn't pay cash.
According to you, did you pay him for the stove?
The same day you're on a cash money.
Any money that she gives
Dude,
me,
how are you going to prove your case? You're so like messy about your billing procedures. And then you come here and then you say, just trust me, Judge. Can I just ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Why doesn't this happen? He hands you this and you say, put here that you got my cash. Here's a pen. Yeah, how easy that is. You don't need him to write a receipt. You need him to acknowledge you got the cash. It's in your control. Grab the nearest roll of toilet paper and the nearest crayon and say, $500 I received.
Something learned, Your Honor.
According to you, there was this meeting that the two of you had where everybody put their receipts on the table and you went through all this accounting. And in the end, it was determined that she still owed you $500 for the stove and $305 for some parts and some labor, right?
yes,
What part of 305 is labor and what part is parts?
both of them. It's mixed
That's
up.
not how life, exactly, you're mixed up. That's the problem. What part is labor and what part are parts, and show me those receipts.
I gave her the receipts after she wrote down everything.
Okay, you should not be giving people receipts until they pay you for it. That is what a receipt is. It's the proof of payment. So if your claim is that they didn't pay for something, don't give them the receipts yet. Why don't you bill like other people? You give them a bill and say you owe me X. That would be a better way to do
I
it.
gave her the receipt because at that point.
Did you ever sign something at the end of that meeting saying, parties are in agreement that 305 is owed and 500 is owed for a total of anything like that?
No, everything was.
How are you
written
going to prove it now that she says that didn't happen? How are you going to prove that
Well,
she acknowledged
she wouldn't
owing
be
you
telling the
500 and
truth.
305? Did you ever repaint the doors when she complained about the paint that you had used?
The doors, the whole place was white, and there was another color that went around the baseboard and the radiator.
Okay,
Then she said,
it's like you're asking me, who am I going to believe? You or my lion eyes? These aren't the same color.
she's taking pictures of something after I left out of there. That's not the color that I had when I was there. The place was
Well,
white.
then you can't show me the color that it had when you were there. I would like to see pictures of your finished work if this isn't it, because part of her complaint is I'm not paying him because he didn't finish the work. So you need to defend that. So do you have any pictures of the work you did? Yes or no?
I don't have no pictures because we didn't have a problem the whole time.
Whether you have, you know what the point of taking pictures after you do any type of work somewhere is to make sure you don't have a problem. That's the point of taking the pictures. You keep raising your hand. What do you want to
He
interrupt
also
with?
stole from me, Your Honor.
How did he steal from you?
Okay, Your Honor, the stove hood, he and I are sitting at my dining table. He wants money for the stove wood. I asked him how much the stove wood gonna cost. He told me $630. I gave him a check right there for it. Also,
Wait, so then you paid again at the store?
no, the stove and the hood over the stove. This is what we're talking about now, Your Honor.
Wait, what did you pay him for in the store? The
The
hood?
stove itself.
And then this is the hood.
Yes, ma'am. So we're sitting at my dining table, and he said, want the stove, it's time for the stove, blah, blah, blah. How much is it going to cost? He says $630.
The hood.
I write the check.
The hood.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And give it to him. So I'm saying later on, the stove is gone, the hood is costing.
You keep calling it a stove. Are you referring to a hood?
The hood is
Please
costing,
call it a hood. Go
Yes,
ahead.
Your Honor.
Okay.
The hood is costing the same price as the stove. So I start going out checking around, Your Honor. The stove would cost $113.
The hood?
Yes.
The
See
hood
check
would
here,
cost
Your Honor, I give it to
$113.
him.
Why would you write him the check without knowing what the thing cost?
Your Honor, I go out and check later on, Your Honor. And
It
he
would
cashed
check later
the check.
on. He's already gotten the check.
And
check
he cashed
before
it, he
the
don't give me
check.
back the money.
Did she pay you $630 for a hood?
No, and no hood costs that
Okay.
much.
Also, so you know what you've written in ink over the carbon, which defeats the purpose of the carbon to begin with. It says stove and hood. Cash for stove and hood. So did you pay $500 in the store, or did you pay through this check?
Just for the stove, would you? And I paid him the $500.
No, but why'd you write
already.
stove and hood?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Oh, you people are too much. You people are just too much. Everything is, no worries. And then all of a sudden, everybody puts it in front of me and says, now you worry about it, Judge. Figure out who owes who what.
He
Okay,
said
here's
he
what we're
I
going
gave
to
him
do.
money
I'm going to
to-
take a recess. You're going to contact your bank, and we're going to get proof of what check number 3682 was for. And then I will deal with the $500 on the stove.
Yes, ma'am.
Court's in recess.
All rise.
So would you sue a friend that you've had for 40 years who stiffed you on $800?
I mean, it's $800. I'd probably just leave and never talk to him again, but I wouldn't go through all of that work.
Fair enough. What do you say?
No, over $800 in 40 years of friendship, I wouldn't.
Okay, what about 2,000?
No,
What about 10,000?
then yeah, probably.
There you go. Going inside the courtroom.
So, Ms. Sutherland, you sat with my staff during the recess and got information from the bank, and we in fact confirmed that check number 3682 was paid out for $630. What was that for?
It could be she owes money, because
630? That's a weird number. That's not going to be labor. What was that
No.
for? She says that's what you charged her for the hood.
okay, I'm going to show you the hood that I ordered from Amazon,
How much was it?
$112.
30.
So what was the $630 she paid you on January
She's
11th?
make-
Can you answer this, or you can't?
I don't know about that. I never seen it.
Okay, there's a check. You cashed. I know this because we spoke to the bank.
I cashed?
Yeah. It was made out to you personally for $630 in January. What's it for? Your records should make you able to answer that.
I need to see the check.
Well, that's not going to happen. But I got the information I needed, which is that this figure's accurate. So she either paid for the hood in this check, or she paid for the hood on the property. I don't know which, but I do know this. It is you who is the plaintiff who comes into court and has the burden of proving that what he is saying is correct. Okay? I know that a check was cashed for $630 with the notation on the memo line, stove and hood. That's what made me stop what I was doing, because she had said it was just for the hood, and she appears to be foggy about this. Then I thought, what if this check is only for $130? Because then her whole story might be falling apart about, should I trust her when she says she paid the $500? But then it turns out that check is for $630. So it's either $630 for the hood because you worked her on the hood, or it's $630 because she paid for the stove then. But I shouldn't be in the position of guessing. You should be in the position of providing proof that this money is owed.
I don't know about that money. I need to see whatever you're looking at.
Yeah, I need to see your records. Why don't you just show me your records? Where are your records? Where are all your
gonna show
business
you the
records
hood
of how
that's
you
been-
run your business? Where anything
I'm
at
gonna show you the
all?
hood that's been ordered for $112.
Okay.
Here's the hood here.
Does that help you? I don't care about what hood you buy. You think that's what this is about?
You said to
This
show
is
you proof.
about, Mr. McCartney, this is simple. This is about whether or not you're going to be able to get another $805 from her, whether you've been able to show me that it's owed to you, and whether she should have to pay it given her complaints about workmanship and the paint colors and the fact that it was, according to her, unfinished and that the doors were the wrong size and that, according to her, she already paid for it. Okay? And I find that you are unable to prove to me that
I'm
the money
showing-
is still owed, and
I'm
I
showing
rule
you the
in
hood.
favor of the defendant. Showing me the hood doesn't do anything.
Not right.
Show me the evidence.
Not right.
If you run the business, you're the one that has the burden of proof to produce business records.